How many 6'7", 20-year-old forwards can do this? Jonathan Kuminga is pressuring Darius Garland at the three-point line. Garland gets a slight step on JK, but JK is able to recover, absorb the contact, and force a miss. Or how about on this play where he chases Garland around a screen, once again absorbing the bump and using his length to force a miss. The scariest part about Jonathan Kuminga's defensive potential is not only does he have the quickness to guard the shiftiest players in the league, but how about his ability to use his wingspan and athleticism to guard a 7-foot cheat code on not just one occasion, but multiple occasions. And if you want to know why Kuminga is the only guy out of Moody, Wiseman, and PBJ that gets consistent minutes, it's because of that exact reason. Defense, defense, and more defense. But this shouldn't really come as a surprise to anyone, because this is what the greatest defender of this generation said about Kuminga when he was a rookie. I have no doubt in my mind that he can check just about anybody. He has the size, has the strength, has the quickness, has the length. Everything you want in a defender, he kind of has. As he figures out angles and figures out what guys like to get to, all those different things, he'll continue to get better and better. I love that he's taking on those challenges. You'll see some guys shy away in moments like that. He's not shying away from those challenges at all, and it's beautiful to see. And it's the last part of the quote that should have Warriors fans excited. Everyone knows JK is an athletic freak, but he wants to shut down the opposition's best players. And it's not just Draymond saying that. Kuminga said the exact same thing.
Being one of those two-way players that the word I haven't seen yet. I like to compete. That's the one thing with me. It don't matter how good you are, you just gonna feel me. You're gonna feel my prison. And I'm not saying I'll stop you from not scoring, but you're just gonna feel my presence compared to somebody else guarding you.
But before we talk more about his defense and the impact he's having, if he can do this consistently, yeah, it's a wrap.
Again, Kuminga an open three. Kuminga hit 1-3. How about another? He tried to free up Steph. He becomes the roller. Kuminga. 3 of them. Lamb with the shot clock at 3. JK another triple. Got it.
However, forget about the three-point shooting for a second. The thing about JK's offense is if you were to just look at the box score numbers, you might think he's actually regressed, but that couldn't be further from the truth. I want to quickly focus on his assist numbers, which have doubled, and why this is particularly important. Just take this play for instance. Clay gets doubled in the paint. Kuminga slides back to the three-point line to create an option. He gives the ball off to Steph before setting a pick and giving Steph an outlet. He then takes a dribble closer to the middle of the floor before spotting the cutting Lamb and putting it on a plate for him. They might not be ground-breaking reads, but Kuminga is consistently starting to make the right decision and be in the right spots on offense, which you couldn't always say last year. Take this other play for example, where JK has the open 3. He takes a very quick glance and spots the open Clay. He then proceeds to look off Ja Morant before kicking it to Clay, which leads to a better shot from a better shooter. Offensively speaking, the best thing Kuminga can do is set up his teammates, because not only do the Dubs have Steph, but Wiggs, Clay, and JP are all very good scoring options in their own rights. With that in mind, let's not forget Kuminga can still do things like this.
They are 5 of 11 from 3, and that's helped keep them in. Kuminga! Oh my goodness! A left-handed hammer that immediately followed an 11-game winning streak as Kuminga.
And despite his scoring numbers being down from last year, that's only because he started the season slowly. Here are JK's numbers throughout the first 15 games of the season. It was rough. 15 minutes per game, less than 6 points per game at under 40%, and a negative plus-minus of 104. That was the worst plus-minus on the team. Since then, Kuminga is not only averaging over 10 points a game on really solid efficiency, but he's a plus 29. That's 4th on the team, ahead of JP, Clay, and Wiggs. Like I said, the Dubs aren't just playing Kuminga because he was the 7th overall pick last year. He's genuinely a very impactful player, and I think there's still room for him to do even more offensively, like shooting the 3-ball and giving Steph an option in those situations where teams are going to double him. His 3-point shot looks smooth enough to a point where you could see him being a factor when teams really pressure the likes of Steph and Jordan Poole. But in the meantime, offensively, it's plays like this that should be exciting. Watch this play with Dante. Watch Steve Kerr motion to JK to set a screen. He sets the screen before rolling and attacking the rim with such force and quickness that the best shot blocker in the league looked like Enes Kanter out there trying to stop him. And what's so exciting about JK as a roller is he has the same vertical pop as a center, but he can also put the ball on the floor and finish craftily around the rim. It's very similar to how the Dubs used GP2, but instead of an extremely athletic 6'2" guard, Kuminga has the same traits, but he's 6'7". He can also bully smaller defenders in the post if you allow a switch to happen. But let's get back to the defense, because the offense is helpful, but the defense might prove crucial. Just look at the Dubs' recent game against the Raptors, in which Pascal Siakam shot 8 of 26, which was largely down to Kuminga and Draymond. Watch this play. He starts by guarding VanVleet, bringing the ball up the floor. Achua sets a screen, which he and J-Mike switch. Fred then gives it to Achua, who hands it off to Siakam, which is again switched by Kuminga before he walls him up and forces a miss, before again helping to wall up Siakam after the Raps get the rebound. But there's more, because on this play late in the game, after he scored on one end, he guards Barnes bringing the ball up the floor. Barnes hands it off to Siakam before VanVleet tries to slip the screen for a 3, which Kuminga rotates over to well, and then more impressively he stays down on the fake before forcing a deflection out of bounds. This level of switchability come playoff time is going to be unbelievably crucial. Think about teams like the Pelicans and having the ability to go from guarding CJ to Ingram to Zion in one possession. It's not just the switchability either. He can also lock up on isolation plays, like here where he just rips the ball out of PJ Washington's hands in a close game. And this play in particular stood out because this is what Steve Kerr said after the game. He looked like Andre Iguodala on that play. That's an Andre type play. I don't think it's a coincidence that Andre's been mentoring him throughout the season and last year. And that last bit doesn't get talked about enough. We talk about Poole being mentored by Steph and the 3-point shooting that comes from that, but the Warriors have 2 of the best defenders of all time. Not just 2 good defenders, 2 of the greatest ever, mentoring a guy who has all the tools and most importantly, wants to be the best defender in the league, like he said. That's a recipe for him turning into one of the best defenders in the league, and I think we're seeing it right now, which is importantly leading to the Warriors winning games because of it. Anyways, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel for more. Have a great day. Bye.